The fear is etched onto their exhausted faces. More than 1 million people in Iraq have now been forced from their homes, pushed out by militants from this brutal extremist group known as Islamic State, while Iraq's Kurds take up arms to fight back. That's why politicians in Europe held an emergency summit, condemning the atrocities and saying governments are free to send in weapons to help Kurdish forces, something Britain says it is now considering.
The conclusions of the Council today will show the commitment of European countries to pushing back against the threat from ISIL, a threat to civilization, a threat to the region, and a threat to us here in Europe.
Fighters from the Islamic State, formerly known as ISIS, have been steadily advancing through northern Iraq, forcing thousands of civilians to abandon their homes, with many trapped on Mount Sinjar. The US carried out airstrikes and Britain dropped supplies, helping many to escape and allowing the Kurdish Peshmerga fighters to retake some towns in the region. But they are massively outgunned. The militants have seized an impressive arsenal of tanks and weapons from the Iraqi army, many of which were originally supplied by the US. Meanwhile, Kurdish fighters have to stock up on guns at a local market, but it's feeble in comparison. That's why some say Britain must help.
The Kurds have the capacity to act as a bulwark against the northern expansion of this terror, of which ISIS is only the worst element. There are plenty of others there too. And I think that's very important, but part of the wider strategy. So, yes, we should arm the Kurds if they need them. We should be prepared to train them. We should be prepared to provide protective airstrikes if we need, to make sure that they stand firm as the bulwark against the northern expansion.
The Ministry of Defence released footage of another airdrop this week, but many say sending in arms might not be so simple. Last night, the Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri Maliki gave in to growing pressure and resigned to make way for a new leader. The innocent civilians continuing to flee the violence hope that might help to pull their country back from chaos, as Britain, it seems, is being pulled further into this crisis. Rebecca Barry, 5 News.